Today's video is part 2 of adding more life into your animation, so stay tuned. Hey guys, my name is Eon and welcome to my Start Animating YouTube channel. The channel that is specifically aimed at everyone that is new to animation, and if that is you, welcome. You are at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. And if you are new to animation or you want to start out animation and you feel you don't know what software to get, or you're scared that it's going to cost you a lot of money to get all the software you need to start animating, well, I've got some great news. I compiled a list of free software. It is from 2D animation, 3D animation, script writing, storyboarding, audio recording and mixing for your voiceovers, video editing, all the software that you need. I compiled a list of freeware software. So this software is available for free for the public, so it's not pirated copies. So I compiled this list, and if you want me to send that list to you, in the description box below there's a link. Just fill in your details and I'll email that list to you, and that will really help you, because now you can start animating without even spending one single cent. It won't cost you a thing, and that's so important. I want you guys to start. So in the description box below, just click on the link and I will send that link or that list to you. Now, last week we looked at how you can add some extra life into your animations, and we looked at some facial expressions. So if you want to go check out that video, I'll add it right here, so make sure you go check it out. But today we're going to take what we started last week in the previous video, and we're going to add on top of that. Now, the most important thing when you animate is to always keep in mind that you are the director of your story, of your animation. So just like with movies, you've got your actors acting out, and there's a director that will direct them and make sure that they portray the characters and the story the way you as a director want them to display it. The same for you when you are an animator. You want your characters to, or you basically direct your characters. So you want your characters to act out the emotions that you want your audience to feel. So always look at it that way. So as you remember, last week we looked at some facial expressions. Now today we're going to add body movement to it, because the two together will really add to your animation. So if we go back to Cartoon Animator, or this is actually Crazy Talk Animator 3, but you can do everything that I'm going to show here with Cartoon Animator 4 as well. Cartoon Animator 4 is actually installed on my laptop, so that's why I always do my videos on Crazy Talk Animator 3. But in any case, I'm going to quickly press play and show you what we've done last week. I hope you can hear the audio nicely. Wait, I have an idea. What if we sneak up from behind? Okay, so remember what I said last week is take your dialogue and divide it up into sections, and then see in each section what emotion do you want your character to portray in that instance. So if we break it up again, that first one is wait. So now you really, the emotion you want is that light bulb moment. So it's like, wait. So you can maybe let him move up a little bit and maybe point his finger so he's got an idea, something like that. So let's get to the, let's just click on here and let's select our character. And what I'm going to do just to start off with is I am going to make sure I add, it looks like I do have all the keyframes what I want. So now what I can do is wait. So at that point I want my character to be at his highest point right there. He needs to be at his highest point. So I'm going to take from 10 and I'm just going to add keyframes at all the areas that I think I might animate. So Let's scroll up. And left arm. So basically I'm just adding keyframes at all the areas that I think I'm gonna need to add the keyframes. I'm not gonna do the right or the legs, so I'm just gonna focus on the upper upper body and arms. Okay, so now I've just added keyframes. So basically if I press play, I know that first part the character won't move, so at that point he needs to be at his highest. So what we can do is we can take his torso and we can move it up a little bit, and then obviously his right arm, we can move it right there, and we can make his hand add a sprite so that it points like that. Okay, so but now that is too slow. But what I want is, if you remember the 12 principles of animation, the squash and stretch. So basically we've got our stretch part. He goes out. Okay, so before he goes into that position, we want him to squash in and then out. Okay, so let's do that. So let's say right in the middle, we are now going to add our keyframes again. So we're going to take him, let it goes down, and we can maybe take his arms, his shoulders to go up. Like so. But his arm is going to be there, and let's do his left arm as well. And his head, actually his neck, we can bring it down. So if we press play, and then this, maybe when he's there, this left arm, we can maybe just extend it and drop his shoulders again. Okay, so if we press play, now that really looks great. So he squashes in and he goes out and he says, wait. So now that is the first section. The second section is basically, he's now saying, I have an idea. I have an idea. So what you want here, like I've mentioned the last time, is he's got an idea. So he wants the person he's telling this to listen up. So now he's got, wait, I've got an idea. On that, I've got an idea. He can maybe lean a little bit forward and maybe trying to, with his body language, wants to show that I want you to listen. Okay, so he's got an idea. So let's do that. So, okay, so when he talks, let's just add all our keyframes again, because if we don't, we're going to have some problems. So I'm just adding all my keyframes back in. Right hand, right arm, forehand. I'm just going to add the hand sprite is in, and let's add. Okay, so we've got all that in, and now okay, so we want him now to lean forward. So let's take forward and our head. And now the right arm can maybe do something different. So we drop it a little bit. And we can move our hand like so and just add a different sprite. Let's do this. Okay, so if we press play.
Wait, I have an idea.
Okay, so now you kind of get the idea. So I break my dialogue up in sections, and then for each section, I first work on the facial expression and see what I can do with that, so that the face tells the story. I also add some eye blinking because that is a natural thing for every person to do. And then once I've done that, I add my body, my body language. So you want your character also to tell the story, tell the dialogue with his body as well. So if we press play,
Wait, I have an idea.
so this is very simple. I mean, I've done this in a very short amount of time.
What if...
So now let's add our sprites just again. Just make sure we've got all our sprites, because we want the character to pose in for that section in the same pose. So that is very important. So let's just add all our sprites back in. And then the right arm as well. Okay, so now the next part is,
What if we...
so now you can go, what if we? So now he goes a little bit back. He can raise his shoulders. So now, and also his hands. So now he's asking a question. He's wondering. So that is what the body language. That is what you want. So now,
What?
okay. So now let's get him in that position. So we can take him back. And we can also take his neck and just drop it. And then his shoulders we can lift, because he's now asking a question. That arm we can basically leave it there, but the left arm is going to do the same, like that.
What?
And let's just change the hand sprite for the left hand, and we do that, and there you go. And maybe we could just drop the right hand, the right arm, so that the two of them is at the same level, or like so. So now you can see his body, he is actually asking a question. So if we press play.
Wait, I have an idea. What if we...
And then we can keep him in that position. Let's just add all the sprites again. And then we take him into that final position or pose. Make sure that is all aligned, so these top ones need to move one up. And so the final pose is, he's got a sneaky idea. Okay, so he came up with a sneaky idea.
Sneak up from behind.
So now you want him to look sneaky. So let's get him in that position. Okay, so how we can do that? We can maybe forward his body like so, and we can keep this arm like there, but this left arm let's do something like this. And let's just change his hand sprites. What I normally do is I change the hand sprites in the middle of the movement. I normally find it to look more natural. Okay, so let's just change. And we can maybe lift this one up and drop this hand. So I would prefer a different hand sprite, but for now, just for this case, I don't have one, so I have to create one. But let's press play.
Wait, I have an idea. What if we sneak up from behind?
So maybe from behind you can add a final movement. So let's do that. Sneak up from behind. So let's
Sneak up from behind.
And let's just add all our sprites again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make him point with his thumb to the back. I think that will be that will look awesome. And then let's pose him in the right. So I'm going to take his left arm up there, forearm more back, and his left hand will now show to the back, and the right arm we can maybe just drop a little. Let's just change the hand sprites and get the positioning right. So left hand, I'm going to make it a thumb so it looks to the back. We can fix that later. Left hand, and let's get the positioning right. And maybe something like that. So if we press play.
Wait, I have an idea. What if we sneak up from behind?
So something's not right there. So I think the left forearm. Okay, here's a problem. There you go.
Behind.
And maybe you can just let him move up a little bit forward as he says that. Like so. Let's have a look now.
Wait, I have an idea. What if we sneak up from behind?
Okay, so guys, that is basically how I go about just adding some extra life to my animations. Remember that you as the animator, you are the director of your characters, and you want your characters to really portray the story, and you want to create the emotion and the feeling, and you want your audience to feel your characters. You want it to be more believable, and the way to do that is to really let your characters act. That is so important. So the steps that I always follow is I first start with the facial expressions and see how can I add or tell the story by just the facial expressions, and the eyebrows can really play a big part in that. And then secondly, I add body language to it. So body language is also very important. So if you combine the two, it really adds to your animation and adds to your story. It makes your characters more believable. Your audience will experience more of the emotion of your characters, and it just adds so much more to your animations. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember, if you want to, I've got all my online courses is available currently at 70% discount. So make sure you go take up on that offer. It will be available at 70% discount for the duration of the Reillusion Animation at Works contest for 2022. So make sure that you take up on that offer. So guys, from me till next week, I will see you guys next week with another video. So from me, Ian, God bless and happy animating.